All right, welcome back to another episode of the Diaries. I believe it is episode 5, which is 5 weeks in. It is pretty crazy, but yeah, it's been a good week. We've just been focusing on building out the systems, making it more evergreen. So, for example, a lot of people are consuming the content online. They're downloading We have a couple of different lead magnets basically. And then we have an upsell sequence. After they enter our world, they get on our email list, they go through an email flow that upsells them onto a workshop product, which is about $50. And that's going pretty well. We're building momentum, people are buying, making daily sales. So the numbers, even though it's fairly limited right now, they look pretty good. So for a lot of for what we're doing right now, it's just about how can we get as much volume as possible through that funnel. And then when we relaunch the higher ticket coaching program, we should have hundreds, if not thousands of buyers to pitch the higher ticket program to, which is where the company will make most of its money. And then obviously once that high ticket product is completely evergreen, then we can continue to scale it. So it's looking good. The workshop product right now is just $50. We're building out on should get it sorted this week, basically an order bump and a one-time offer so we can increase the average order value, because right now it's just a standalone $47 product, but we're getting quite a few buyers. So we know we're missing out on revenue and sales by not having an order bump or a one-time offer. So we've just been brainstorming last week what they could be. We're creating them this week. So by the end of the week, we should have those as well. And if we can get the average order value from $50 to like 75, then obviously we increase the revenue or the sales from that just one product alone by 50%, which compounded over time is a significant amount. So that's all looking good. Another thing that we've been setting up as well is a better social strategy where we can actually sell more. So not just relying on the automations, because the automations are good, right? Everyone wants people, the traditional internet marketing value ladder dream of someone comes into your world, they download a lead magnet, they buy this product, then they automatically upgrade and they go up your value ladder and you make a shit ton of money, right? That's the dream. That's what everyone wants. And obviously we want to work towards that. But I also know that there's power in being able to sell on social media, especially inside the DMs. So we created a content strategy that we're going to be sticking to over the next 30 to 60 days to test it out, to basically drive people from social media inside the DMs and actually be selling inside of the DMs. And it's not going to be like a pitch fest. Our offer is a bit soft. It's not a, hey, we're going to make you $1 million next week type of offer. So I don't believe anyway, and I don't want to as well for the brand to go like super hard and start, pitching in the DMs like some people do. But it's more about like building connections and relationships, because you can follow like 100+ people online. Most people follow thousands of people, like thousands of influencers, online coaches, people who they've never met. So it's very competitive to stay in the front of mind. For example, if I could follow like 100 fitness people, it's like how, obviously their content, but how do we get in the front of the customer's mind? How do we get in front of those 100 other people, right? And one of the ways in which to do that is to have conversations with someone. For example, like for a lot of people, if they like respond to an influencer's story and the influencer responds to them and has a short conversation, even if the conversation lasts like 2 messages, that creates a relationship, a connection that prospect has never had with all of these other influencers who never message them back, who never respond to them. So there's a lot of goodwill and relationships that can be created inside the DMs without just like constantly pitching. Now, don't get me wrong. The content strategy is the driving people into the DMs to either get more information on one of our products or to get a freebie that we're offering them. So we are selling to them, don't get me wrong, but it's not like we're getting them in the DMs and sending them like checkout links to buy. It's more of like a longer term strategy. Obviously, When they download the freebie, then we can have a conversation with them to see like what else they're struggling with and see whether we have any other content that could help them or potentially a paid product as well. And then obviously the content that's driving people in the DMs to get more information on, our process / our product, then yes, those are obviously more like your traditional sales types messages. But again, it's not like super pitch fest where we're being super pushy, just trying to drive sales and revenue. It's about creating as many organic conversations as possible and building that relationship with the following, where I believe anyway, if we do that over a consistent period, that goodwill and those relationships are going to compound over time. Where in like a year or 2 years, if we've done that consistently, then we will build such a loyal fan base who will obviously, buy from us and make us money, but will also build like a brand and a reputation as well. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And it's, again, we're going to test out this particular content strategy over the next 30 to 60 days. We'll assess, the results, and we can then iterate, make changes, optimize it further, and basically just continue to do that basically on a 30 to 60 day cycle. But I do firmly believe if we keep to this type of strategy, I'm sure the actual content will change and stuff like that. But if we keep the strategy of, having conversations with people, then that over a long period of time is definitely going to get us significant results. So that's one thing as well. And that comes down to like a reflection, honestly, that I was having recently in terms of like, what more can we do? Because I've done this, and I'm sure a lot of people have experienced this as well, is that you're building a business, and at the time, you're thinking in your mind, you're like, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything that I can. I'm doing all the right things. Like the results come. And then sometimes they don't. And then I reflect back on my life and reflect back where I was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I look back at what I was doing and I think, I really could have done more. I could have really pushed. I really didn't push to the maximum. And that's like the worst feeling in the world, the regret, right? I don't regret buying stuff that didn't work out. I don't regret investing into things that didn't get me a return. My biggest regrets in business have been where I had an opportunity and I didn't really push. I really didn't go the extra mile. But it's difficult because at the time I thought I was. So like the most common example of this is when I first started, 2016. So it was like easy to make money online, honestly, but I didn't make any. And I was basically running like affiliate offers with Facebook ads. And back then there were so many people, you didn't even have to be a good media buyer, didn't have to be good at copywriting. You could just run ads and make money, honestly. But I didn't. And I look back on that time, and when I was doing it, I was like, I'm doing everything right. I was working a job at the time. So coming home from work, I was like reading books. Then I was running ads to like the funnel. I was checking my ads, spending money on ads, and basically, just being a media buyer basically, because like the funnel and stuff was all set up. And at the time I was like, I'm doing everything I can. I'm doing everything I'm being told to do. But when I look back, I could have done more. Could I have created organic social media content? Could I have done more like organic outreach to people? Could I have started to network with more people in the online community? Because back then I had a few people who I was networking with, but like I wasn't like surrounded by people making a shitload of money. So maybe back then the thing that I could have done is connected with people more in the community, had more masterminds, got on the phone with more people, really pushed to ask more questions, to be like, hey, what are you doing that I'm not? But all I really did was just kind of like retreat back into what I was doing day to day and just running the ads. And it's the same when I first, like the last job that I ever had when I quit and I started getting clients is basically like a freelancer. Again, I thought I was doing everything I was. I was doing some outreach. I was obviously fulfilling for the clients. But when I look back right now, I could have done so much more. I could have reached out to bigger clients. I could have done more cold email campaigns. I could have researched more on like how people are actually signing these bigger and better clients. So that's been like the biggest regret for me into like looking back and thinking, I could have really done more. So back to the lesson here is kind of like I was looking at it the other day and I was like, yeah, we have all these automations set up. Yes, we can, get people to download the lead magnet and we can drive them through the email sequences and we can relaunch the high ticket coaching program. But like, what more can we do? And that's when I came up with the plan for the organic content, because we're posting organic content every single day, but it's not really like sales driven. It's just like building the brand almost. And it's not really like super direct response stuff. So I was like, hey, maybe this is what we need to do. Maybe we need to actually do more. And yes, okay, it kind of sucks having to go into like Instagram DMs and like have conversations with a million different people, but is that what we need to do right now to like build the connections, make more sales, drive more revenue, rather than, just sitting back and just relying on like the automation and relying on people to, go through the funnel themselves? Why don't we do more and push more people and get into the conversations with people to push them through that funnel ourselves? And I use push as like, that seems like an aggressive word, but you guys get the point. So yeah, that's been like the biggest reflections on me. Like, I'm in a vehicle right now with this company. I know how big it can be, and I don't want to make the mistake that I've made in previous different opportunities where the vehicle itself was really good. Like back in 2016, running ads for affiliate offers you could make millions of dollars doing that, and it was fairly easy. It was a great vehicle. I just didn't take advantage of it. Back in like 2019, when I started getting like freelancer clients, could I have done more? Could I have like really blown up the agency earlier then, where like it was easier to get clients results, it was less competitive? I could have done a lot more if I'd have really just put everything into it over the first 12 months, rather than thinking I was doing everything, but in reality I wasn't. So they're like the learnings that I want to apply to this business and be like, okay, constantly ask yourself the question, like, what more can we do here? Like, what more can we do? And it's not like diversifying focus. It's just not, and it's not that. It's just, I don't want to sit back and just rely on one thing and be like, okay, cool. If I just do everything right with this, it's going to work. Rather than, okay, how can I actually obsess over this and actually like do everything we possibly can to make sure that it's successful? Because I don't want to, again, look back in like 2 years' time and be like, oh yeah, that was actually a really good opportunity back then in 2023 and I just didn't make the most of it. So yeah, they're the biggest lessons for me. And yeah, I think that's it for the video. Don't want to ramble on too long, just some like personal reflections, I suppose, more in this video. And yeah, as always, as we all should, just try and learn from previous, ventures and try and always apply those learnings into the new businesses that we start. So that being said, hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you on the next video.